Hey guys, this is Justin. I have another review of a knife I just purchased, actually just 2 days ago. This is my birthday knife, and I purchased it at Blademan's Knife Shop in Fort Wayne. If you guys haven't checked them out, be sure to do so. Mark's a great guy, and he's got a lot of nice knives in stock. I believe he runs an online store you can order products from, or you can go to his physical location in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Yeah, so I was up in Fort Wayne visiting my parents, and yeah, I stopped in and picked this up on my birthday. So yeah, I wanted to do a review for you guys. So anyway, this is the ProTech Malibu in blue, and I'm really excited that I was able to pick this knife up. These are really hard to find right now, and for good reason, which I'll get into more when I go into the full review. But yeah, really nice knife, and I see why they are so much in demand. And anyway, let's go ahead and jump in. So, looking at the blade steel on this guy, this is 20 CV, which in the normal ProTech, I guess, design language, it's very minimal. You can see the handle scales are very not plain, just there's just not a lot of design on them, not a lot to them in terms of like you know patterns or you know laser etching or anything like that. The blade is the same way. The only way you would know this is a ProTech is right here on the spine, and then they also have the blade steel etched right there, CPM 20 CV. So this is 20 CV. As I've talked about in my previous videos, it's one of the best blade steels on the market, comparable to 204P or M390. So yeah, really excellent all-around steel. You're going to have good edge retention, good toughness, good resistance to corrosion. Just a nice steel all around. You can see here the blade has a really nice, I think it's like a stone wash finish, but just a really clean, nice finish all around. So yeah, in terms of blade steel, this is an easy 10. Moving on to the clip, you can see here this has a really nice deep carry clip. And one of the things that ProTech does, and I think we or Civivi also does this now, is they recess the screws into the handle so that when you're putting this into your pants or your shorts or whatever, you literally have zero interference putting the knife into your pocket, which is really, really excellent. And I know ProTech's been doing this for a little while now, probably a number of years, but they just really know how to design a clip. And you can see there the screws are nicely set into the scale, and they're not going to interfere with your pants pocket at all. So just a really nice design. And yeah, this clip gets an easy 10. Additionally, you're not going to see too many marks when you run into stuff with this clip because it is not painted, which painted clips are kind of a double-edged sword. They look nice. They're more, I don't know, they're less noticeable just because they're black. But then at the same time, when you run into stuff, when you bump into stuff, whatever, you're going to get more marks. Clips like this, they're just not going to show marks as easily. So anyway, moving on to lock type. This is a button lock. This is not an automatic. I know ProTech's known for their automatics, but this is a little bit different. So yeah, it just has a simple button lock. So to disengage the blade, you simply just push this, just kind of give it a little bit of wrist, and the blade falls into the handle. So just push that. You can see at the back, I'm going to hold this open because it will guillotine my fingers. Push that to the side, and then it releases the blade. So, yep, pretty straightforward lock design on this guy. Moving on to materials. These handle scales are aluminum, and I believe they've been anodized, the blue. Yeah, it's an anodization process for sure. I'm not sure why I said I believe. And yeah, just, you know, nice scales, nice finish. You can see here there is some variation in the anodization. Um, so yeah, just overall nice material, steel clip, aluminum scales, steel buttons, steel screws. And yeah, in terms of materials, I gave this knife an 8. Looking at size, this thing is not huge. So here's the Mannix for comparison. And then I also have the Hogue, or the Ritter Hogue as well next to it, so you can see there. So yeah, again, not a huge knife. And it's also pretty thin in the pocket, so I'll just compare it to this. So you can see here the Hogue is, you know, pretty significantly thicker than the Malibu. And I'm guessing the Malibu is about the same thickness as the Mannix. Yeah, I'm pretty close. Yep, so anyway, there's your size comparison. In terms of weight, pretty lightweight. I mean, it's not the lightest knife I've ever felt. These aluminum scales are pretty thick, but you know, it probably doesn't exceed 4 ounces. It's a pretty light knife, easy to carry. You don't really notice it too much in your pocket. So moving on to action. Honestly, this is one of the best actions I've ever felt. So you can see, depress the button lock, give it a little bit of wrist, and the blade just falls into the handle. I mean, like I said before, if you get your fingers in the way, you're going to guillotine your fingers. It really just falls shut. And then when you're, you know, in terms of opening, really nice dialed in detent. Just a really, really nice action. It's hard to compare it to like a Norseman or something. It's just a little bit different. But yeah, it's a really, really nice action. And so for those reasons, I did give it a score of a 10. It's hard to describe. I mean, it's in terms of like flipper feel, the D10 is on the strong side, but it will deploy reliably every single time. It's more like a light switch type action that it's looking for, so you kind of pull your finger back. But yeah, I mean, it fires open with authority every single time. And then closing, I mean, you know, it closes so easily that it literally just falls shut. And the crazy thing is this thing doesn't have any like lock rock or side to side blade play, like nothing. I mean, it is rock solid. So yeah, action, easy 10 for this. Moving on to hardware, I think these are like T6s, or maybe there's some kind of hexagon bit. I think they're actually like a hexagon bit, except for this guy up here. I think that's a T6. So yeah, not great. Nothing proprietary, so that's good, but you know, they're pretty small. And yeah, so I gave the hardware a score of an 8 on this. So yeah, like I said, it's a little small, but it should still be relatively easy to maintain. I mean, there aren't that many components. It should be pretty easy to disassemble. And yeah, I think it's a pretty fair score for that. Looking at price, this guy was around 205 or 210, I think, which, you know, I think is a good price. For what you're getting, I mean, nice materials, excellent blade steel. It might be a little steep. I mean, the scales are aluminum, which isn't a rare or even necessarily hard to machine material, but you know, it's nicer than maybe like a G10 or something, or an FRN. So anyway, in terms of materials, I gave it a score of an 8. You know, again, everything's nice. It's well put together. The anodization looks great, but you know, it's nothing special. No carbon fiber, no titanium, stuff like that. So, and then finally, quality. This is an easy 10. I mean, you can see the action. As I mentioned, 0 blade play. Deploys reliably every single time. The centering is just about perfect. And yeah, just really, really well put together. I should show the scales a little bit. Machining on the scales is really nice. All the edges are nicely chamfered. The flipper tab has these nice grooves in it for your finger, not too sharp though. And yeah, just overall really, really nice quality. So I gave it a score of a 10 for that. And then finally, competition. There are not a lot of button lock knives on the market. The Spyderco Smock is probably the closest competition in my opinion. I think the price point is pretty similar to this as well. I had one of those around a year ago, and it is similar to this, but it has a little more visual. It's a little more eye-catching. The grind on the blade is a little more unique, and then the handle scales with that carbon fiber G10 material. They're a little more eye-catching than these, but you know, this is more simplistic, and it really just depends on what you prefer. So, you know, if you're looking at this type of knife with a nice button lock, you know, you may want to consider the Spyderco Smock. Although the ProTech does come with a better clip because it's deep carry. So yeah, overall, the total score for this is a 64, which is definitely in the top tier of the knives I reviewed. I will update the total score listings for you guys and post that on my Instagram. But yeah, really excellent knife. You know, ProTech is a great company. They're out of California. If you don't know anything about them or don't know much about them, definitely look those guys up. There's a lot on YouTube, you know, factory tours, whatever. And, you know, if you're into automatics, if you can own those, definitely check out their range of automatics as well, because those are also really well made. So anyway, thanks a lot for watching. If you have any comments, please leave those below, or questions. Please like and subscribe, and have a good rest of the day. And we'll talk to you guys in the next one. See ya.